What's up, everybody? This is Keith, and I am joined here by Mike and Ryan from the Fantasy Roadshow. I am excited to have these guys on to actually talk some football with us here and talk to you guys about some start-sit questions you guys may have. So I see a lot of you already in our lobby. Love that. And I know we already have a question. Let me just go ahead and preface this all, though, by saying if you guys do have a question, if you can, please give us your league settings. Is it PPR, is it half PPR, 10-team, 12-team, 8-team? Anything that may be pertinent for us to go ahead and give you an answer. But we already have an answer or a question here, and I want to hit Jeremy with an answer if we could. Jacoby Myers, Garrett Wilson, and Zay Flowers. He has to start 2 of those 3. He's got Puka Nacua as well. So 2 of those 4, I guess, is really the question here. So I know, Mike, you were kind of chatting before we came on here. What do you think there, man? What are you going?
Well, first off, good morning, everyone.
Get to the goods.
Week 3. It's like Christmas morning every week. I love it. But yeah, so all right, let's talk through this one. I mean, Garrett Wilson is so ugly, right? Like, it's just been bad. Also have Nacua in the starting lineup already. So to me, that means that he's in there. Right, and we just need 2 out of these 3.
Well, he's questionable. He's questionable for Monday night, so he's saying
but he's saying that would be 3 spots, so we would be looking for 3 out of the 4 because he already has him in starting lineup.
You're right. You're right.
So leave Puka in. Obviously, bring him to your flex spot and start in your wide receiver slot, whoever we bring up now. But I'm still starting. Garrett Wilson, as ugly as that is, I'm going to go Zay and Garrett Wilson. To me, like, Jacoby doesn't really do it for me. I know it's Ryan's best friend, as we say on the road show, but I don't know. It's starting Wilson. You see, like, he can just have those big plays at any moment. Zach Wilson against the Patriots, it's a horrible matchup. Belichick's, 4-0 against Zach Wilson alone is making him look horrible. They've won 14 straight. I imagine it's going to be the same, but like Garrett Wilson's still going to be looked at and throwing the ball. I go from like draft capital alone. I'm not sitting Garrett Wilson at this point in the season for Jacoby Myers. I can't do that. So I don't know, Ryan, what do you think?
I'm going with my best friend, Jacoby Myers, and Zay Flowers. I'm just, Jacoby had a monster week 1, had a down week 2. I think he can come back this week and have a good game. That Raiders game against the Steelers is going to be kind of a shootout to me. I think it can go either way. So the Raiders are going to need Jacoby Myers if they can win this game. And Zay Flowers is going to have a monster week this week. I can just feel it. And that's who I'm going with. Garrett Wilson is just so risky with the lineup or with the matchup. And Zach Wilson struggling. So those are the 2 for me.
Yeah, I lean the same way as you, Ryan. I think, Garrett Wilson is pretty talented, but I'm looking here. He got 8 targets last week, 5 targets in week 1. And we know Zach Wilson was a QB for both of those games, ostensibly. I mean, Rodgers was out in the first series there, but touchdown each week. And that's the thing that kind of worries me there. That's, what's buoying his value right now. And you can't really rely on that happening every single week. So I go the same way. I'm a little worried though with the Ravens with the weather that's going on there. We got a little update there, and it's looking like it's probably going to be pretty rainy. But I still probably go Zay Flowers and Jacoby. That's just me. Puka.
If you give me 8 targets for Garrett Wilson, I am 110%, 10 out of 10 times every day of the week going Garrett Wilson over Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, fair enough.
So if it's 8, I'm extremely happy about that. I think Jones is out for the Patriots too. So they're not necessarily like their secondary is not full strength. I mean, Christian Gonzalez has been outstanding, but and the Belichick game plan is going to be real deal. I don't know. I think I have the Patriots in my super contest, but I am a little worried about it. Like I just did it from strictly like history and just like auto bet, not even think about it. But the Jets defense is real. Mac Jones is not the best quarterback in the world. So from like a game script standpoint, I could see Breece Hall just showing why he was
I hope so.
Potential rookie of the year before getting injured and like open up the offense a little bit.
They said not to run the ball last week. I don't get that.
Yeah, and I actually think that was like a game script thing. I think they're like, listen, Breece Hall is coming back from injury a little bit. The Cowboys are going to beat us, so let's just
fold.
Almost save them. Yeah, just for this game. You know what I mean? Like they're in a situation where they need to pick their battles in order to win games. Like, let's not, break a leg.
Well, that's interesting theory. I mean, that's possible, man. Absolutely possible.
Yeah. So that's the way I look at it. I mean, if you have a smart coach, which, Jets are well coached.
Oh, big news, guys. Usher's going to perform the Super Bowl half.
I saw that. Yeah.
No, that's not big news. We're going to move on, though. We got a couple questions in our Discord this morning. I want to throw at you guys here that I thought were kind of interesting. Rashad White, Christian Kirk, or Jacoby Myers. There's Jacoby Myers again. He's got to get one in his PPR league for his flex spot. I already know you're not going with Jacoby. Let's go to Ryan first here. Who do you got out of those three?
I got Christian Kirk. I know Zay Jones is out this week. I think Christian Kirk coming off a big week too, especially in the PPR league. Rashad White's going to have a good game too, but I definitely think Christian Kirk's going to have a better production.
What do you think there, Mike?
Gosh. Well, I would probably say I'm going to go Christian Kirk as well. I mean, I actually think the Bucks probably cover that 5 points against the Eagles at home. Like the Eagles just still haven't figured it out. They're really banged up in their secondary. But that defensive line is so tough. So Christian Kirk with Zay out just seems like the right play. He should have his target share against the Texans team that's not good. So, yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to go Kirk there as well. So I think you got three there for Kirk there. Good morning, gents. A full PPR. I'm flexing Chris Godwin. Mostert's on the bench and no Watt also. Mostert. I know, one interesting thing about Mostert, we're looking at the DFS slate with Mike LaFemina. If you guys don't tune in, that's the DFS Today podcast. You guys should absolutely do that.
LaFlemme is a stud. He's a smart guy.
Yes, he is.
One of the smartest.
He is. He's incredible. But Mostert is one of the guys that I know a lot of the optimizers out there are picking his price tag on DFS. So, I guess going to have a good game here. So what do you guys think? Godwin, Mostert, what are you going with there?
Full PPR. I mean, I go Godwin. Like I do
as well.
Full PPR wide receiver. I like Godwin. I think Baker's dishing the rock out in order for that game to be close. Evans and Godwin are going to need to eat. And I just said that game would be close. So that's where I'm at there. Mostert, I think he's a good flex play. And this game script is okay for him. I do think that the Broncos keep it closer than teams think. That defense just has to show up at some point. And Dolphins are due for some sort of regression, but I kind of think a sneaky move I've been making in all my leagues this week is A-Chain is sitting on a lot of waiver wires, and he's getting his opportunity this week. It seems like to kind of ramp up his target share. So I like A-Chain in that offense. I'm worried about his durability because how small he is. And I don't really like him because he's a Texas Aggie, but I think that his speed complements the offense well, and I want a piece of him before he breaks out. And then I'm going to sell him because I don't look at Aggies as real humans.
Now to start sick right now. Look at you. Wow. Let me ask you a question here because I did snag him in our experts league, and I think we've all kind of forgotten about him. I know he's banged up, but Jeff Wilson. I mean, does he have a role when he comes back? Is he
100%?
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what that looks like when it happens, but until it does, I think you're right about A-Chain. I think he's an interesting guy to roll dice on. Okay, so we got another one here. Did you have something to add there? Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, Mostert just can't really support that type of workload for a full season. He's 31 and he's injury prone every single year. So they need the three backs. A-Chain will be their kind of spark plug running back, and then just kind of by committee between the other two of them. So, and Wilson should get the goal line work regardless, just because of the size of back he is.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that's a good little play for me there. All right.
Yep.
Missing Waddle, Aaron Jones, and Christian Watson. Half PPR. He's got all. Oh, Aaron. Okay. Half PPR, and he has Gainwell starting Swift. He's got Kareem Hunt, Kendra Miller, and Shaheed. Who's his flex? So,
for me, it's between
Jones and Watson officially out.
That's what I just read that somewhere.
Yeah, okay. They are both officially out.
For me, it's between Kendra Miller and Rashid Shaheed. I'd probably lean Rashid. Rashid over the first 2 weeks, he's been pretty active in this offense, and Derek Carr is going to need to get him involved if the Saints want to win this game. Kendra Miller is a sneaky play for me this week. This is his NFL debut. He's competing with Tony Jones and Taysom Hill. I mean, come on. Kendra Miller could eat this week. You can run on the Packers. They have a better pass defense than run defense. So between Kendra Miller, I lean Rashid Shaheed.
I think I'm going to go. I'm going to answer real quick here, Mike, before I let you go. But I think it's going to be Kendra for me. But yeah, like you said, I mean, I just don't trust anyone behind him there. And, Jamal Williams heading to the IR. So I just think he's going to get a pretty darn big workload here. We don't know what we got in him yet, but first action, let's throw him in the fire. I think so. I think Rashid Shaheed, though, he has a big ceiling, so I don't hate that choice at all. What's your answer there, Mike?
I absolutely hate this question.
I hate this question.
And I hate my answer too, and I hate that Truck is here for it and it has to hear this. But fucking Kendra Miller, as disgusting as that is for me to say,
I love it.
So Gainwell, I have Gainwell in some leagues, and I'm not going to start him until I know a little bit more about this Swift Gainwell role. Swift to me is the clear best runner, as kind of expected. Gainwell's the trusted hand, but I need to see how they're going to use him. Is it going to be a game by game thing? They can't support two running backs either. I mean, Swift is going to be an outstanding potential league winner if he's featured in that backfield all season, but I just don't think that's going to be a reality. It's going to be one of those things where they're going to just have everyone in the mix and try to be as healthy as possible for the playoffs. So I just need to see more about that. I don't think the Saints are going to have a good game. I don't think they're going to go to Lambeau and look good. So that's why I said it was disgusting, because I just think it's going to be a muck it up, gross Lambeau Packers win. And Derek Carr is not good on the road. I just hate that game script for the Saints in general. So the fact that we're talking about two Saints in our flex, I just makes me want to throw up.
Got some Tigers fans in here. Looks like you must have brought these guys over into my show. What's going on, Mike? All right.
No. I did not bring them over, but LSU fans are very proud of the purple and gold. So, you can wear an LSU polo anywhere in the entire world and you're going to hear it go Tigers. So, Grant.
Same with Bama, though. My wife, Roll Tide. So there you go. Sorry, guys. PPR flex. We got Pacheco, Khalil Herbert, or Craig Reynolds. And I got an interesting question for you guys after this about Craig Reynolds. I think he's probably out in this situation, though, for me. I think I'm going to go Pacheco here. Just because I think the freaking Bears going to get steamrolled by the Chiefs, but that's really my only reasoning there. What's your thoughts there? Let's go, Ryan. What's your thoughts?
I'm rocking Pacheco here. Exactly what you said. The Bears are complete trash on defense, and the Chiefs could go up early and just run the ball. And Pacheco, exactly. My only worry though, if the Chiefs are up 21-0 in the first half, do they really give Pacheco that much work with that hammy issue that he's dealing with, or why not just ride out a healthy Clyde Edwards?
Right.
So that's my only issue there. But between Pacheco, Herbert, and Craig Reynolds, I'm go with Pacheco and see what I can get out of that one.
What about you, Mike?
Another disgusting one, probably Pacheco. But as Ryan's saying, I just don't think he should play this game if there is any injury concern. So if you get a lead, I mean, you saw what the game was. It was Clyde coming out first, and like Pacheco was barely. I don't even know how many touches he had the first half, but it was ugly. So I think it could be that. And then like I would have said Reynolds, as crazy as that sounds, just because of like
some goal line
his role, like what David Montgomery is in that offense, Craig Reynolds is as a running back. So like, regardless if it's, Montgomery light, it's still a very good role. That being said, like that news this morning that Rappaport came and said that it looks like Gibbs is getting the bulk. And I think that's going to be a very competitive back and forth game. Doesn't really bode well for Reynolds. So I'd probably lean away from him now. And then Herbert, it's like, what's going on with the Bears? What's going on with the Bears backfield? Is Roschon kind of taking over? I'm not done on the Bears yet. Like, I don't think that they're going to be in the running for that number 1 pick. I think they still have 6 wins in them easily. And I think Fields has to show that. Otherwise, like, he's just going to be playing quarterback somewhere else next year.
Yeah, let's talk a little betting because I speaking of that, I think you're going to get a lot of Justin Fields obviously this week. Big news here. Blaming his coaching, but then walking that back and saying he wants to play his own game, wants to get out on the move, which I think is absolutely what everyone that's watches football thinks. But what that does is it takes away half of his receivers. So I'm all over DJ Moore having a big game. I mean, not a huge game probably. I think the Bears are still going to get steamrolled, but I think he is going to get targeted pretty heavily here because I think he is. If Justin Fields is going to roll out of the pocket, it's going to be towards his number 1 wide receiver. So I could see DJ getting over on the yards there, and I am on that over. It's opened at I think 40.5, which is ridiculous. And now it's up to 44.5. So I got 4 yards of closing line value there. So. Craig Reynolds here. Let's go back to this. So I'm in a 30-team league. I got a disgusting choice for you guys again. I got to go Craig Reynolds or AJ Dillon. It's I think it's half PPR. I think it's a half PPR league, 30-teamer. Who are you guys going with there?
Dillon, 100%.
Yeah, Dillon.
Yeah. After that news, I mean, it would have been at least a conversation for me otherwise, but I just think the Packers, as I said, muck it up game at Lambeau, and that tends to look good for Dillon, as not great as he is, but yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, can we get some good? All right, thank you.
My brother's got one here. Full PPR,
I need something.
DJ Moore or Jordan Addison. He says he's down bad, but the other questions we've had have been down badder. So, Ryan, who do you got there? DJ Moore or Addison?
For me, I'd probably go Jordan Addison. I think that game is going to be a shootout. DJ Moore, it's interesting. Even with a bad week last week, Justin Fields was still able to get him. What he had, like 6 for over 100. With a bad week, so very easily he could, I think DJ Moore has more upside, but Jordan Addison, to me, I think is going to have the better day. And I just for Justin Fields to say what he said, like talk is cheap, man. I got to see it happen. I got to see him, really go out there and do it before I really believe what he's saying.
Yeah. What do you think?
I would say B Cork. Find the nearest coin close to you. This is a very real fantasy. This is very real fantasy advice, by the way. Like putting the fantasy gods are real. If you don't believe in them, then you're just not a good fantasy player. And sometimes you have to put the outcome in having faith in the gods. So I would flip a coin, but for real, it literally is a coin flip in my mind. I actually think that the higher upside is Addison, just because like there's a real possibility that he catches 2 touchdowns in this game. It's going to be a high scoring, and he's shown that he's that guy that's like a big play, can find separation or like do a double move. Like he's shown big plays already. And I just think this is going to be the over under is like 54. I think it's going to be, one of those games in the 30s. So if Addison is on the receiving end of 2 of those touchdowns, to me, he actually has a higher ceiling in a weird way. Even though he's obviously not wide receiver 1 like DJ is. And I'd probably lean Addison.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that, guys. I think like you said, it is really a coin flip there. I just said, DJ Moore's going to have a good game, but
don't be afraid to flip the coin either. I'm serious. I've done it many times. DJ
Moore is going to have a good game, but yeah, Addison, I think, that game script, I think you're getting a safer floor there because I think, He's not guaranteed to catch a touchdown, but the opportunities are absolutely going to be there. And for the Bears against the Chiefs defense, I can't necessarily say that. Not the touchdown opportunities. Okay, defenses under props for Browns Titans. I know I've got a couple of overs actually in that game. But do you guys like
all
anything?
the overs.
Yeah, I've got, and I think here's an interesting thing about this, Danny. I think everyone out there knows Browns Titans is an ugly game offensively, so everyone's already on the unders there. So the value is probably at this point on the overs. I'm on the over for Deshaun Watson for his passing yards, and I know
same.
Mike's
Cooper
the same there.
Yeah, and Cooper.
Yeah, no Nick Chubb. I mean, they're really gonna hurt without Nick Chubb, and they're gonna have to rely on Deshaun Watson over the air. And the way you beat the Titans is through the air. So I just think
their secondary's trash, and Deshaun Watson, like, it's the same as Allen when he came out and just absolutely torched last week. It was, the narrative is, Deshaun Watson's not the quarterback he was, and he is in Houston. Like, all you've been hearing is him getting dragged. And this game script just sets up perfectly for him to go out at home and just roll through the air over the Titans. And that's exactly, I think, what's going to happen. Like, Cooper has these home games where he just comes out and has 8 catches for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, he has these monster games every year. And for me, this is one of those games. I think his over-under is like 60, right around that, like 61.5 maybe right now. I think that's over. He had 7 catches for 90 yards last week in a game where he was maybe going to get limited time. So I think Cooper's going to just have a great game. Watson over, Cooper over. So,
yep, I absolutely agree. Any thoughts on the Titans Browns there, Ryan?
No, I would take that under too. I just think this game is going to be ugly. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think it'll be one of the lower scoring games of the week. But yeah, you're right. The value based on the perception of the population.
All right, need to start 2. We got Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder and Jordan Love. So, man.
But going back to that one, I just think the under's not the bet in my mind. Like, I just think there's so many better bets in that game than taking the under. Yeah. But anyways,
and I've got a couple too. Go get that wager pass from SportsEthos, and you'll get access to all 14 or so of my bets. So there you go. Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, Jordan Love. Need to start 2. Who do you got there, Mike? He's been kind enough to give us the matchups here. So against the Buffalo, against Detroit, against
is it 2 or is it 4 or 6? Sadly, that might matter is if it's 4 or 6 point passing touchdown.
Yeah, what's the scoring?
So I mean, like, Love, if it's 6 point, Love's definitely in there. Even though I don't love the matchup against the Saints D, and as I said, it's going to be one of those ugly games. But I'd say Love is probably the one that stands out of the other 2, and then Howell. I mean, Howell's shown that he can run the ball as well. Ridder against Detroit, that's a really good matchup.
Do we know he's going to
6
points?
6 points. So I that makes me lean Love. Howell and Love even more.
Yeah, I'm rocking with you guys on that one.
100% Love.
Yeah, Love and Howell. I can't trust that pass offense in Atlanta. I just don't know. And Bijan and Tyler. I mean, two great running backs. I would go Love and Howell, absolutely. So, all right, 2 of these players, PPR format. Tyler Algier, we've got Craig Reynolds, Tank Dell, Marquise Brown, and another guy's got Puka Nacua. So,
do you guys know who Joe Kane is? By the way, Shane just called me Joe Kane. I've never heard of who Joe Kane is. Thanks, though.
Never
Shane.
Heard of that.
Sounds like a really cool guy. No, I'm sure you're not making fun of me.
No, absolutely not. Another Puka guy, though. I think we're all in agreement that you start with Puka, you hope he plays.
The coach expects him to play.
Okay, he expects him to play, so that's good info. So I think you play Puka. 2 of these players, though, what do you think, Ryan? Algier, Reynolds, Tank Dell, Marquise Brown.
Out of those 2, picking 2, I'd go Tank Dell for sure. And as ugly as it is, I go Hollywood Brown. Hollywood got 10 targets last week. And Tank Dell, I mean, he's emerging rather quickly in this offense and forming a nice connection with CJ Stroud. So I'm rocking with especially PPR, Tank Dell, and Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, I think it's an easy one. And Mike, if you disagree, definitely weigh in. But I think I go the same way. Dell and Brown. Craig Reynolds, again, you said it before, but with Jameer Gibbs going to take the bulk of the carries, I just don't see it there. And then Algier, Bijan, it's all Bijan, man. What's your answer there, Mike?
So yeah, I kind of agree, but I also think that there's a scenario where I would maybe go Algier. I just have to see his full roster because Tank Dell and Hollywood are two players that could flop, like actually flop. You know what I mean? Whereas Algier kind of has baked in value. There should be a lot of points against Detroit. So like, I think he's touchdown dependent, but there's probability that he could get a touchdown. Like as a touchdown dependent player, there's sometimes starts that you feel better about starting a player like that. And I think Algier is one of those, or against the Lions is one of those for Algier. So that is tempting to go stable and then take a little bit more of a risky play. And it just depends on what your lineup needs. Like if you need 2 swings in order to win this week, like there's matchups where I was playing Debo and now I know I need a swing because I'm projected, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cause he had whatever, 25 some points. So I know I need to take big swings. So yeah, maybe like a Tank Dell in Hollywood. I just need to hope that they get a lot of volume and get in the end zone. But if I just think that I need a solid, close to 10 points, Algier can give that to you.
I am overweight on Deebo Samuel, and I can't be happier this week. So there you go.
You are. Wow. Congrats.
I've got so much Deebo. All right. So what do you guys think about starting Ford against Tennessee? I'm just going to go ahead and run through that real quick. So, I mean, it's not a great matchup. We all know that. But that being said, I do think he's going to get
start.
Yeah, he's going to get.
Yeah, he's a start for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you start that guy if you have him. All right,
Brian Shade. Look at B Shade, dude.
B Shade, wait in here. Josh Dobbs against Dallas or Tannehill.
Oh my God.
Tannehill, I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dobbs is like gonna have no shot. I mean, that defensive line, Micah Parsons, like
Micah is gonna eat him alive.
Yeah. So like it's all about making Dobbs uncomfortable, so that he makes bad decisions and turns the ball over. When he has time and he can look to run, or when he has that time to make a decision is when you see him have success. But unfortunately, Tannehill, like, God, I hate that too, because those are the 2 best defensive lines.
I know it's tough.
I'm going Tannehill just because I'm fading the Cardinals in every way that I can.
Yeah,
especially in survivor leagues.
Good call.
Yeah. Well, the Cardinals, I mean, they've hung in to games so far. But yeah, that Dallas defense seems legit, man. I don't know. That's tough.
I like his next question though.
Oh, okay. Let's get with that. Let's get to that one. We'll go Tannehill there. We'll just uniformly agree. Madison versus the Chargers or Breece Hall against Patriots. We already talked a little Breece Hall, but which thoughts are in there, Mike?
Yeah, I like Breece Hall. I mean, I've felt this way about these 2 running backs preseason, so like call me biased, but you're seeing what's that whole Madison thing, man. It's like now you bring in Akers, who O'Connell has history with. He's obviously not going to get implemented right away, and this is a good matchup for him against the Chargers, but Chargers are a team desperate for a win. It's going to be, both teams are going to be going all out to win this game. I've never thought Madison's the kind of guy that can create his own yards. It's just like get what's given to him, and that line has been giving him nothing. So that's why you've seen 0 success. And they're 0-2. They need to figure it out now. I think you start to look. Chandler got a couple looks, but Akers will end up getting looks, and if he succeeds, then his timeshare is going to start to decrease. And I just think Hall is going to get fed this game. I'm a firm believer in they were kind of saving it last game against the Cowboys. I really think that's the smart move. Like, let's punt this game, save Breece up for a big workload against the Pats, a team that we can beat, and need him to beat, because he has to be that, game-changing type player that he is in order for us to win because of Zach Wilson at quarterback. So I'm taking Breece Hall just from that.
I get where the question comes from, though, because Madison, I mean, no Cam Makers because he's inactive this week, so he should have enough carries. But I think Breece Hall's still the guy I go with. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm riding Breece Hall this week. For me, what's interesting and what makes it a conversation with Madison is like, put yourself in his shoes. The team that you thought this was your shot this season, and then through the first 2 weeks, it's been lackluster. And now all of a sudden, your team trades for another running back. This is your chance to be like, hey, I still have a role here. And, putting myself in his shoes, I could see him doing that. But Breece Hall, everything Kulz said is accurate. Breece Hall is going to get fed this game. He's going to ball out. I would not hesitate to put in Breece Hall over Madison.
So we all say Breece Hall. Okay, we got one more here from the Discord. If you guys do have a question, now is the time to shoot it to us because we will be logging out after we answer this. If you guys don't ask another one, full PPR, you need to start 3 out of these guys. It's a 10-team league. Calvin Ridley, Collins, Pittman, Madison, Atwell. So who do you guys got? You got 3 of those out of those guys. What do you think there, Ryan, who's looking at the screen?
Starting 3 full PPR. I'm going Ridley, Collins, and Tutu Atwell. I think Ridley's going to have a monster game, especially with Zay Jones out. Nico Collins has been a top 10 receiver through the first 2 weeks. Breakout season for Nico. I think he's going to keep that going. And Tutu Atwell. I mean, if Puka doesn't play, Tutu's going to eat. And even if Puka does play, Tutu's going to have a great game, as we've seen through the first 2 weeks. So, Ridley, Collins, Tutu for me.
All right, what do you think there, Mike?
I think it's
there you go.
Yeah, what the hell? You think I'm supposed to remember that? How dumb my brain is. So I am Ridley, Nico, Pittman. I just think that I think that Gardner Minshew helps Pittman. It's kind of like how I think Dalton helps Thielen. So I like Pittman as a receiver. I think he's outstanding, and I would be really excited if I was a Pittman owner to have Gardner Minshew in there, who is a kind of a gunslinger. Tutu, it sounds great, and he's been outstanding and has another game maybe. Are we thinking just Cup 2 games? So Cup comes back week 5. Is it sounding like he's going to, right?
Yeah. As far as I know,
I haven't heard any sort of updates on that Cooper Cup train.
Yeah. There hasn't been really anything new, but I think he is scheduled to return that, but we'll probably hear more
as of right now. Yeah. So anyways, I don't know. That's going to be a weird game. I think Burrow probably won't play, and the Bengals are going to be desperate for a win. So I just think it's going to be a lock. I don't like that game. I think Pittman, listen, at Baltimore is not the greatest matchup, but your team's going to be coming from behind, and Gardner Minshew will sling the ball. So I think Pittman over Atwell is where I lean there.
I'm going to go with Mike on that one, and I'm a big Pittman believer this year. But even with Anthony Richardson at quarterback, he is a stud. I love him. So last update we have, by the way, I'm looking at the SportsEthos news blurb. If you guys don't follow that, at Ethos Fantasy FD, we do tweet out most of these updates. And we also have a spot on our website, sportsethos.com, where you can go ahead and get all of the updates directly to you there. But we do have head coach Sean McVay. Last update we have on Cooper Kupp is that they're hopeful, quote unquote, that he'll be back for week 5 against Philadelphia, but they won't put a timeline on his return. So not the most promising, thing, but hopefully he'll be back for week 5. So we'll see. Everyone hold your breath.
I got a couple sick questions for you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Get gross.
Flex, PPR, P. Ryan, A-Chain, Jaden Reed, Kadarius Toney.
Oof, that is gross.
That is gross.
What do you think, Ryan? I'm gonna let you answer first.
Pick
be
one.
Gracious. Yeah,
one. P. Ryan,
Jaden
Reed, and Toney.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say easily Jaden Reed for me, but Jaden Reed with Watson out, having 2 touchdowns last game, really emerging in this offense as a reliable target. I know the game's going to be ugly, but I think Jaden Reed could could have enough production.
I probably in the same way, but I think like if you look at Romeo Dobbs and Jaden Reed's first 2 games, they're basically flipped. It was whoever got the 2 touchdowns, and it was bad without it. Like it was like a couple catches, like really bad without it. So hopefully there's some sort of balance there. Otherwise, I don't know.
Brian's weighing in for you. He says and I was gonna say
P. Ryan if you're favored. Tony, if you're
Jaden
underdog.
Reed, Ryan makes a good point about Jaden Reed. I do think that's interesting. But if you're favored, maybe P. Ryan's the safest one to go there.
How about JSN or Jaden Reed? This is a guillotine league too, so you basically can't be last or you get chopped.
Right. Do we have any update on DK Metcalf?
We do. He's in. Yeah,
he's in.
He's in.
I'd probably still go JSN. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think I'm JSN there too. What? And then I guess I'm trying to think. I have one more. Pickens, Zay, or Dotson start 2.
Pickens, Zay, or Dotson.
Which Zay?
Pickens and
Flowers. Zay Flowers, obviously. Okay.
Yeah, Pickens and Flowers.
Yeah.
Pickens and Flowers.
I'm the same.
Okay. Yeah, I am too.
I like both those guys.
That's really all I got. Unless you want to get crazy.
No, we're good. We're gonna log out before we get too crazy. Everyone go set your lineups. Appreciate you guys for joining us. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to our channel. Follow these guys at Fantasy Roadshow. They do fantastic work. They put out just buku content, and it's always great. So I love what these guys do. You can follow us all on Twitter, X, what do you want to call it. There's my Twitter, X. There's Mike's, and there's Ryan's there. So go ahead, follow us there. You guys have a good rest of your day, and hey, let's go crush those fantasy lineups. Let's do it.
Go Tigers.